Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's me, Ahmani, your host, as always. And this is Paper Play Action. Glad that you guys are checking back in again. And I know it's been a while. There's been a lot of things that have been happening, so to speak, on my end, and then basically the whole group. A lot of schedule changes and things of that nature that have been moved around. Seasonal depression kind of hitting in, definitely making things harder to be motivated. But at the same time, I understand and maybe you guys were just looking for something to watch or something of that nature. And I've been like, hey, where did we go? Yeah, sorry about that. A lot of it has also been on the fact that we've been also attempting to stream, and that's been a whole thing too. That stuff on that end has been breaking up and stuff like that. Like just stress all around, and not even just from the podcast, just life in general. And I totally understand why everyone would be like, hey, what happened? Where did you guys go? Well, I'm here to let you know that we're back, and there was an attempt, well, not a full attempt, but definitely a desire to come back a lot sooner than like a 6-month hiatus. But we're in a new year, and at that point I'm just like, hey, new beginnings, we gotta get back to it. Like, we can't let this lie. So obviously, with a lot of things breaking and stuff like that happening, we didn't get to do our Game of the Year thing that we wanted to do, the Paper Play Action Awards, unfortunately. And we'll probably bring that up as a discussion later on about what was the best games of this. It'll be addressed. There's also plenty of things that we've missed and haven't really gotten a chance to talk about. Several games that came out that we didn't really get to do too much about. And if you had been watching the streams, then maybe you caught some of those. And it wasn't really a lack of not wanting to do the podcast while also streaming. It was more so a matter of timing. If especially since me and Bailey kind of split the that's a huge part of it actually too, is that streaming was a lot easier because me and Pele split a lot of the work with streaming, and then obviously we had Jones and a couple other people wanted to step in and do some stuff, so that made things a little bit easier here and there. If you have been following us streaming, you know that we're playing Sushi Ben. I was playing Silent Hill F. I'm still playing Silent Hill F. I really want to finish that game. That game's awesome. My biggest gripe is that the most I want to play it, the more I want to play it, the more I'm like, I cannot continue this game without streaming it. And then the moment I go to get ready to stream it, because I'm a weirdo and I need to play horror games at night sometimes, at least that's how I feel. Something comes up, whether I get distracted or it gets too late or something of that nature, I'm just like, oh man, I'm never going to continue this game. But I'm going to just go ahead and just play that and let you guys see that, because I want to finish it. It's really cool and I really want to get through it. But there's other stuff as well. I mentioned Sushi Ben as one of the ones that we're playing, but Pele's been doing a lot of VR stuff, and obviously Lost Soul Aside I think went on the back burner is what I said. Ninja Gaiden 4 came out. That game's awesome. Go play that actually. Great character action game, genuinely. It's really fun. It has a platinum touch to it, so it is still hard like Ninja Gaiden is, but there's some differences. So if you enjoyed those games, go ahead and check it out. Shinobi's still really good. Obviously go check out Shinobi. Is like a 2D action Metroidvania, or I guess it's like a level-based Metroidvania, which I think is actually more interesting, because each level is like a smaller Metroidvania level, and you get power-ups as you continue going through each levels, and you can go back to those levels and break through. It's actually really cool. But I recommend playing Shinobi. I haven't really got to play Ragebound too much, but I'm basically just going over the stuff that has catching you guys up on what's been happening. So obviously I saw the Avatar movie, the new one, Way of Fire. Personally, I kind of enjoyed it. I think this was a lot better than the second one, honestly. I felt more engaged. There was more that happened in it. And for those that enjoy the Avatar films, it's a fun time. It's a fun ride. It's very pretty. They don't usually have the most substance, in my opinion. The first one's plot is kind of obvious. The second one, I feel, drags on way too, those movies are kind of way too long in some instances. The second one specifically is really, really long. In my, it feels long. all the movies are like 3 hours and change, maybe, right? But I don't. That second one is the one that I'm just like, oh god. It's like I was looking at my watch, going like, bruh, why are we having a whole Shamu mini movie inside of this film? Like, wrap it up. I get the point. But Way of Fire was actually really cool. Like I like the antagonist that we had going on, the chick that was part of the fire tribe, so to speak. I'm trying to speak on it without getting into too much detail for those who haven't seen it, because it is a relatively recent movie. The gang and everyone has been watching a bunch of shows, movies and stuff like that too. We've just been running through. We have an entire list of things to go through. Recently we just got through Scissor 7. I know me and Aaron had watched up to season 4 and never finished season 5, and apparently they all just didn't remember watching any of it. So we was like, we'll just watch it again. So we watched all of season 1 through up to the new one, and through to the new ones. I believe it's season 5 we're on, if I'm not mistaken. I highly still recommend Scissor 7. For those that don't know, basic plot summary, it's actually a really funny, like, animated show about a a scissor wielding assassin who also cuts hair and is on this little island called Chicken Island where there's a bunch of weirdos on it. And the plot basically goes from having fun, stupid little adventures with friends on this island to something a bit bigger. It transforms over time, and it's actually really cool. It's actually one of the best parts about the show is how chill it is initially and how it slowly snowballs into something much bigger. What else do we got? Because I know I'm going like 30 miles a minute, whatever, but like at the same time, I don't mind talking like this because it's just me in this case. So like I am just rambling off to you guys, and I hope that's sometimes good enough. I don't know if I'll get like a full 30 or something like that out of this, or even an hour, right? But I want to put up something to let you guys know that like we are back, we are trying again, and I want to do more with it. So I'll probably get into the news in a bit, but I'm trying to just keep everything out. Another one that I played actually is Moonlighter. This new one came out. Moonlighter is so it's Moonlighter 2. That's you can play it on Game Pass if you have Game Pass, but it's also like it's a smaller indie game anyway, so it shouldn't be too expensive. Moonlighter is fun. I've been really enjoying that one. Basic deal with that one is that during the day you run a shop in which you sell things off to people for like the highest price you can possibly get it without it being unreasonable. And at nighttime you go into dungeons and dungeon explorers. You get items for that said shop I mentioned earlier, and because of that cycle, it's actually really cool. You explore it. It's a little roguelike, but you explore to the dungeon, and the further you get and the more that you items you get, the crazier curses they get, and positioning them in your bag in the proper way so that they don't destroy some of your more valuable items while also like increasing the value of other things by putting them near each other. Really fun time. Genuinely just having a blast going through that one. Also been playing the Outer Worlds. The new Outer Worlds 2 came out. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bored. I haven't gotten that super far into it, but I'm a tad bored. Big issue is that this genre specifically doesn't really vibe with me very much. The open world, talk to everyone, immersive sim kind of feeling. That being said, I did really like the first one, and so out of all of the ones that like could grab my attention, I was hoping that the Outer Worlds 2 could do it. And it's not that it's not, it's just that it's like, again, a lot of it has to do with like this genre doesn't vibe well with me. As much as I like elements of it, like increasing your stats so you can like talk to people or things like that, and being able to find different ways into environments and stuff like that, I find that I have grown less. I want to play open world games less because they take up way more time, and I find that like the time in between going from place to place and finding a bunch of missions but not really getting the chance to like pay attention to like what I want to pay attention to, and just spending a lot of like downtime just traveling isn't something that I kind of like anymore. It used to, I didn't mind and really enjoyed. I still don't mind it in certain games like Elden Ring, because that's kind of the point. Like, the idea is to explore. And some people might say you might want to look at the Outer Worlds like that too, but I don't know. I just kind of want to, in something like the Outer Worlds, they're giving me a story that I wish to progress, but I always feel like I'm not progressing by doing these other things. But I am progressing by like leveling up and gaining new abilities and making myself stronger. But it's not but I want to do that while progressing through the main narrative that is happening. And sometimes you run into situations, especially in games like this, where it's just like, because you don't do side quests, you miss out on big things or stuff that makes the game really fun. And it's not that I don't want to do side quests, but it's just the amount of time, whenever you get a side quest in a game like this, it has you go across the map in order to do something. And sometimes you're just like, man, I just kind of wanted to do it on the way. Just to kind of know that it was in the same direction. I was like, oh, I can pop by and do this, and this, and then continue about my day, right? As opposed to, oh, I got this quest. Where is it? In the exact opposite direction I need to go. I'm not headed that way at all. Should I do it? I mean, like, I already picked it up, so I probably should. But like, now I'm like, damn, I gotta just go completely left, right? And I don't know what it is. It's just something that's kind of like, I want to say it's bugged me in open world games as of late, as I've been kind of growing and playing them more and doing, well, other stuff. I kind of find that I enjoy open world games a little less, and immersive sims even more so. I don't know what it is about how they do it. I think a huge part of it is that gameplay for immersive sims in a lot of cases is not like the forefront of its design. So it's not, so immersive sims don't inherently play really good. Some of them play well, and some of them play really decent. Some of them don't really play that great at all, but like, you know, it's about being in the world. I find that, like, on top of the fact that like the gameplay isn't exactly super crazy, and then the fact that you have to boringly travel from point A to point B, usually hoofing it. Very rarely do you get vehicles in these games, and sometimes when you do, it's just like, dang man, I still gotta go all the way over there. Like, the vehicle didn't make it that much shorter of a distance. Kind of tends to be the issue more so than anything. I will admit, speaking of open world games, we started playing the new Borderlands 4, I believe, and we're playing it on PC, so I'll say this for now. I'll have to check back to see if it's working, but me and Daewoo specifically were having a really difficult time playing that game. As much as, and I will say this, Borderlands 4 is the best feeling Borderlands there is. Like, it's the best playing one. But because of a lot of like technical issues on the PC side, not saying that we can't run it. We can run the game, but it just doesn't run well is the issue. We aren't playing it as much. We actually kind of deleted it and said that we'll come back to it when it starts playing, like when it can run at like a decent, steady situation. Because our PCs aren't bad. None of our PCs are like old like that. Actually, I think I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what rig I have, to be fair, but like, I know based on my friend that does know how to make PCs, that it's like, yeah, none of our PCs are inherently like old or need to be upgraded, or like, could we get a better graphics card? Yes. Is it necessary when you can run all the games that you can't, like, that exist right now without really any issue? Not really. It's definitely been like an optimization thing on Borderlands side as we looked into it. So it's like, well, you know, when it gets itself together, we'll play it. And I think it's a shame because that was actually, like I said, one of the better playing ones. So if you can play it if you haven't played it and you like the Borderlands series and was kind of debating on whether or not you wanted to get into this one, because it's late, so you probably already either picked it up if you are a fan or didn't. If you're kind of on the fence about it, I say wait for a sale. If you have it on a PC, not. If you got it on PC, definitely wait until like you can figure out whether or not it's working. But if you're getting it on consoles, you'll probably really like it, because chances are it'll probably run fine for the most part on a console. Let me see what else we got. I also was playing Absalom, which I don't know if I mentioned that one before, but that one's a roguelike beat 'em up as well. This is by the same devs that made Streets of Rage 4, and this is a fantasy 4-player brawler, like beat 'em up, like I said. in which you are taking a trek through like 4 different, in very big stages, both like a mini boss and a boss at the end. And the very fun part about it is that you kind of get to choose whatever direction you go into on this. There are many different hidden paths. You get like little items. Obviously, it's a roguelike. You get items that change up how you do things and give you new moves. It's actually really cool. When you beat bosses, you usually gain a new skill, and that could either be a power move that you could do, which is usually on your, I'm playing on a controller, so on L2 and R2 triggers, or you can get something where it's like you gain a new repertoire in your normal melee combat, and I think that part's really fun, actually. Unbeatable's out as well. Fortunately, we didn't get to like praise it when it came out, but like Unbeatable exists now. And if you were an OG fan of us when we first started, Unbeatable was one of the games that we talked about on the podcast back with Andre, when Andre was still on the podcast, and Paul. He's like, this is a world in which you play music, and music is illegal, and you do crimes. That game's actually really cool. I got the chance to jump into it. I'm really debating on whether or not I want to stream it, because I do want to stream it. I kind of want to stream it. I might do like a one-off stream just to show people what's up, but like that game's really, really cool, and I recommend people just playing it. Like, just genuinely, if you like rhythm games, the idea is that it's a really cool action rhythm game. It's mainly a rhythm game. It's not like Hi-Fi Rush or anything like that, but it's fun. But the idea is that it's plot driven and that there's actually like a story and things like that going on. It has an awesome, gorgeous art style. I highly recommend going to check that one out. Another game I was messing around with was Superhero Simulator. So Superhero Simulator is a early access game. Not even gonna pretend like it's not. It's early access, but the idea is that it is attempting to replicate like almost a Superman-esque experience while trying to keep it like locked. You get to make your own character and everything like that, but it seems fun, where it's like it is a sim where you are managing both your abilities as a superhero and stopping crime, but you're also managing to pay your bills, your day job. You're getting clothes, making sure you're washed and everything. It's actually kind of fun. I actually think it's really cool, and I'm looking forward to the finished product as it continues. And so far it's been kind of delivering on what I wanted to play, but like it's still early access and it could use some polish. So go check that out. Maybe the more money it gets, the more time it can get, and more like it could actually do things. It's been getting updates pretty regularly, and I think that actually is a good thing. So I think recently they dropped the ability to create female heroes, so that's been a whole thing. People have been able to do that, as well as like a bunch of other dungeons and customizations. It's really dope. I don't have any streams of that, so like I'll have to do that at some point. Also was playing some Sonic Crossworlds with some friends. That's still a fun time. Sonic Crossworlds is going crazy. I'm really excited about the DLC in which they are putting in Tangle and Whisper, which are IDW comic characters. As you know, I read comic books all the time, and webtoons specifically. I read a lot of webtoons as well. If you want to catch up on Sonic IDW comics for free, like if it's just something you're interested in, they do have it on webtoons. I think I've mentioned this before, but if I haven't, I want to mention it now. So if you've heard me talking about IDW comics or like the IDW Sonic comics, things like that here and there, I think it's one of the best written like Sonic stuff out there, genuinely. I was never really a fan of the Archie comics all that much. Like, I checked them out and stuff like that, but like a huge part of it is like the artists at the time, and a lot of the art just didn't really mesh with me very well. And I think on this podcast, potentially, we've talked about the designs and how they look and how it's like really weird. But I'm kind of like that when it comes to art, where it's like I'm not super picky. I like different art styles, but like sometimes when the art's just not good, like it's not any, you gotta really carry with the story. And I think that the Archie series was a little melodramatic. The art wasn't good, and it's extremely melodramatic. But like some of the people from there that made some of the better stories, Ian Flynn, I believe, is the one who's in charge now. Has been doing a great job with the IDW comics. The art's been solid. It looks kind of like how they should. Everyone looks all model and on brand. It's been introducing new characters and things of that nature that work. And like I said, since the IDW switch acts as a new number one, like to kind of really pick up. There's not a bunch of history you need to know about. It's just like, hey, you know what Sonic is and whatnot. And because you can read it on Webtoons for free, it would be a great jumping on point if you wanted to check that out. I really want this run like this to continue because it's doing a really good job and it's really cool. Like there's really cool stories in there. And I've always been a sucker for stories that are in like a darker undertones and lighthearted like adventures, right? And that kind of encompasses what the IDW Sonic is in a lot of cases, where sometimes you just hit on darker tones, but everything overall is still very light, but it does talk about things and does dive into things a little bit more and go like, hey, look, this is a thing. It's not like something to be brushed over. We're not going to just go like, it's whatever. I highly recommend going to check those out. I also played the Pragmata demo. So, for those that don't know, because Pragmata keeps showing up at award shows. Well, it's showing up as a trailer and going like, we'll be out eventually. I couldn't give you the exact plot of the game, but from what I can tell, we have an astronaut. Remember, astronaut being sent to a space station to recover an android, a small little android girl. And upon doing so, they find out that the entire place is being taken over by this crazy AI, and so a bunch of the robots and automated facilities are attacking them when they were out, and the idea is that the two of them are working together in order to make it out of this place. The little AI girl sits on your back. She hacks things for you. She creates, she basically hacks things and helps you like maneuver certain things around in the environment, whereas, you yourself, you're the soldier man, basically. You have your gun. And the combat is probably one of the most interesting things I've seen, because the deal is that you want to hack things. You're actually playing as both the characters. So when you get into combat, you want to hack a robot so that like it exposes its weak spots, and then you yourself can shoot it. But you're doing this all in real time. So on one side of the screen, there is a grid that pops up, and you're maneuvering a little marker, right? Your little hacking marker through a little maze of stuff into a specific slot to hack it. But you're doing that while the robot is walking towards you slowly or moving around or attempting to attack you. And so you yourself have to dodge, jump, do whatever you need to do to get out of the way while your little robot friend you as your little robot friend are hacking them using the face buttons of square, triangle, circle, X to navigate that grid. And it sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot because you're doing that while running, jumping, and aiming. But it's really fun and really addictive. And I don't know what made them think of that, but like it works. And like I saw it obviously in like some gameplay stuff, but playing the demo, I was like, hey, look, I need to really actually try this out and see what's up. I had so much fun just doing that. I promise you, like this looks awesome. This Capcom might have a really cool banger on their hands when this game finally comes out, because like, dang, like proof of concept already is kind of crazy. And I could tell people are already really invested in like playing more of it, so I'm kind of looking forward to it myself. Let's see what else we have been messing with. We've actually gone back to Halo. A bunch of the boys decided to go back to Halo for he who shall not be named, because he never played them apparently. Which threw us all off. We're like, wait, word? And he's like, yeah, and like, I never played through them. So we're like, okay, well, we'll play through them. So we are currently on Halo 3 and in the middle of that one. So anyone that knows about Halo, it's, you know, it's a fun time. Fun romp to do that one. Let's see. Godbreaker exists. Godbreaker is another roguelike that I actually kind of recommend that people check it out. Multiple different weapons. It's a, this is one that's more of like an action game, kind of, where you pick a weapon in the beginning and your character's camera zoomed in third-person perspective. You fight things in a kind of like almost traditional action game sense, where it's like or hack and slash sense, which I would say it's probably that. It's a third person hack and slash. And much like roguelikes, you gain items, get stronger, fight different bosses, progress, right? So that was another fun one. I like the weapons going on. They have I believe they have the fist, a pillar, a spear, the scythes, the arm cannon and sickle, which is an interesting combination. And a scythe, which are pretty interesting in their own right. They're pretty fun, and I would highly recommend trying it out because all the movesets are very in-depth in their own way, and they do their own things and they work their own separate ways. Like each weapon is very different. It's also 4-player co-op, which is why I'm like, oh, that's another fun one. I know the boys have been playing RV There Yet, and I watched them play some of that, and RV There Yet that's a fun one. It's simply taking a road trip with a physics-based RV that is decked out to help them get through situations, and they are working together in order to navigate very dangerous terrain with this giant RV that can fall apart pretty easily if you let it. And I think it's a fun time. It looks like it's a fun time. I haven't touched it myself personally, but watching them play it, I'm like, yeah, they're having some fun. It's definitely a fun, nice little friend slap game that you can try out. Let's see. Wonder Star is also out. I haven't gotten a chance to play that, but I do have it. Wonder Star is the RPG that we also mentioned that pretty early on in the show, where it's adjective-based RPG. So the idea is you are putting adjectives onto an attack, like it could be a super punch or a mega fire super punch type thing. You add adjectives to something and it makes it like a better version of it, and words of power. And I think that's actually like a really cool way of doing it. Like each of the words have like specific functions that you know because you do it, and combining those adjectives onto your action will cause certain things to change up a bit. Like if you wanted to do a healing dodge, I don't know if that's exactly a thing because I haven't seen it myself, obviously, but like if you wanted to do a healing evade, that would allow you to evade and heal. But it is a turn-based combat game as well, so like you are essentially picking out what you want to put on there. I think it's a fun time. I played it when I played the demo, I was having a lot of fun doing it. I just didn't want to start it with so many games that are kind of currently on my timeline that I have to play. So I have to get through that one, but I got it because I knew I wanted it. So I was like, that's always a fun time. Let's see what else. We have the Mega Man Legacy Collection. We still have to play Dokapon. Let's see. I think as far as, there's plenty of other games that have come out that we have played, but I think right now, as far as like standouts from what I've missed, I think that's it. If it came down to movies, obviously we're watching Gachi Akuda, which we had talked about the series in a very different way before. We had talked about it. Let me see something. We had talked about the manga, and now that the anime's out. Yeah, we had initially talked about the manga way back. The anime's out. It's a fun time. Looks great. Meaning they've on into it. He's enjoying it. I think we're on episode 15 or 16. I think we might be on 16. I'm a lot further because I've been watching and reading and stuff like that. So like, yeah. But quick synopsis just to like refresh people's memories. Main character Rudo watches is abandoned by his parents. Essentially, they're dead. He's orphaned. Gets adopted by this dude named by his adopted father. Raised to be slightly a better person, but he still lives in a society that's very split between the haves and the have-nots. Essentially, someone pulls up and kills his dad, and he is blamed for the murder. So, in doing so, these people who essentially, it's revealed over time throughout the first episode that like Rudo's original parents were apparently killers or something of that nature, or maybe it was just one of his parents. Either way, it doesn't matter, but like the town has a predisposition of Rudo being like his father, even though, or I believe it is his original dad. being like his original dad and being someone that does this. So when they find him with the body of his new adopted father, and he wants to find justice for him because he found him dying, and they decide to arrest him and throw him off the side of this island. They drop him into what is essentially a pit, only to find out that the pit itself is actually the rest of the world. Which is a trash-riddled area, basically run by like giant trash beasts that appear and all this other stuff that's going on, and people do their best to survive. And the place he comes from is the sphere, a floating sphere in the sky that just dumps its trash onto the world as it is. And so you have the people that truly have not and have been making their best on the ground. Then you have whatever the heck's going on with the spheres up there. And Rudo is determined to get back there and beat the crap out of, well, probably murder. It has nothing to do with beat the crap out of. He wants that guy dead. The dude that killed his adopted father, he wants him done, and he wants to make all the spheres pay for what they did, because dang, bro, his life's been rough. And it's a fun ride so far. Very really cool art style in my opinion, graffiti styled stuff going on. Lots of surprising representation in this show, not gonna lie. The dub for it is really good. I'm not kidding. Like, some people have probably seen clips for it and they want to watch the dub because of some of the voice acting that's going on. They do some really cool stuff with that, and I highly recommend just going to check it out. It's a fun time. Let me see. Try to think of other shows or movies that we've watched within this time. Give me a moment. I need to watch the new Jujutsu Kaisen, because that comes out. I think that's out now, actually. So that's gonna be fun. I'm trying to see. I think since the last time we talked, I checked out May I Ask for One Final Thing, and that's just purely about, it's an anime about a wealthy aristocratic woman who one day decides, you know what, I've had enough of all of these corrupt politicians shit, and just starts beating the crap out of every single one of them. He's like, I've come to the conclusion, she's basically like, I've come to the conclusion that all of you are trash, and I wish to dish out justice. Vigilante Dutch woman justice. And she is personally punching them all in the face. It is so fun. It is not like a really good commentary on anything specifically. Like, it's political in nature, but like, it's not really going for that. It's just purely the idea of going like, you know what? Rich demure women in a dress punching people, punching literal villains out, sounds like a fun time. And that's kind of the deal what they're going with that. I think it's awesome. Let me see. What else do we got going on? I mean, obviously, My Hero ended, which is big sad, but like I think we've discussed in general that like we finished My Hero overall, and I think that they went really crazy with the animation already on the channel in general. I need to catch up on Spy X Family. I'm gonna say, for now, we're good on all the things that we've watched, only because I cannot currently think of anything that like that I kind of need to go over again, or like need to talk about. Oh, the Chainsaw Man movie. I don't think we talked about that. That came out. That's fire. The Rize art is really good. Obviously, I can't talk about it because if you've been watching the anime, you need to watch it. And if you're reading the manga, the less you know about the series is better. But like, it's not a movie you can watch on its own. I don't think you can. Some people have said you could do it without knowing the context. I don't agree. I think there's a lot that goes into it, but I also think that like the movie itself is a very beautiful and very avant-garde film. Like, it is a film, and I think the best way I can describe this is, I think the arc as a whole, because it's doing the entire arc, has a beginning, middle, and end, you can pick up and read and understand and go like, hey, that's beautiful. But I think watching it without any of the context for before and at, like, well, not even after, but before, does take away a huge part of that movie. So I don't recommend anyone watching it without reading or watching Chainsaw Man, at least the first season, first, because I don't know who recommends that, but like I've seen that pop up a couple times. So I'm like, don't do that. Please, don't do that. I think that's it. I mean, like, it was Clebitus. I think I recommended Clebitus, but like, I finished that series. And as far as, we also watched Mr. In Between. That was a really good one. So some people might not know it. Mr. In Between is essentially it's the story of a crazed enforcer who ultimately wants to be a better person. It's a live action series, not anime. And the entire deal is that he is constantly put into situations that are bad, but he has a moral code and does his best to kind of toe that line. We don't pretend like he's a bad person. He's not a bad person. He is a bad person, but he wants to just be a little bit better. And the series is just about how life can shit on you, and despite that, sometimes you gotta push forward and do the best things you can. And I think that that's kind of a cool statement for a series, honestly. Complete thing is done. So like, if you wanted to watch Mr. In Between from beginning to end, you could totally go watch it. It was a show recommended to me by Aaron, and me and Davon watched it with him. I recommend that they talk about it more so than me, because they know more about the happenings and how they actually found it and everything like that. I kind of just joined in and started watching that, but that was a fun time. Well, fun relative. It was a cool series, but fun is not the right word to be honest. And I think we're gonna call it there as far as stuff that we need to catch up on. I'm sure that there's some other things that I just didn't mention, and they'll be mentioned as we do new episodes again, because I mean, that's the plan. We're back, so we kind of want to. As far as news goes, I mean, there's a lot to catch up on as far as news goes. It's probably just better to just move forward with it. There's a ton of things that we've seen and have like thoughts about, but I wouldn't really want to go too much into it without the boys being here to also discuss things they're excited about. You know what I mean? But overall, I'm looking at doing some like reworks on like the show itself. So that is a huge part of the reason why we took so much time off as well. Definitely going to try to do more as far as streaming and try to implement a little bit of both of like the podcast and streaming into the same thing. I'm not going to make any plans for it or anything like that. And like I said, I'm also working on several other projects. I think I've announced some of them here that I've been doing. So I'm currently working on those as well. I'm not trying to have this take less time to come out between episodes. I want to continue to kind of keep the same schedule that I used to have, but at the same time, I just need y'all to just bear with me, because it's gonna be I'm gonna be doing a lot. I'm doing a lot, and admittedly, I have to do that while also maintaining, job, school, everything else that exists, right? So just bear with me. It's a lot, I know, but and when I have to take times like this off, I know it sucks, because you are trying to support me, but it's hard to support the group. It's hard to support us when we aren't putting out content the way we should. But I appreciate you guys just sticking with us, and just like always, just recommend the show, let people know that we do what we do, and hopefully the idea is that we can reach a point in which this can be fun. I don't have to worry about doing that. And like my other projects can still be a part of this without actually having to be balanced in 15 different directions. But at the end of the day, I'm going to try to do the best I can for you guys. Appreciate you guys for being with us, so thank you. Without further ado,